Join Mondo's Elite Notification Squad today if you think Bardock deserves his own series. Authors and artists work really hard on their stuff, so please support them using the links below. Not long after his fight with Vegeta, Saitama finds himself back in the Dragon World, even finding the bargain sale at Satan Mart. Upon walking out of the store, he spots a girl handing out flyers of some sort. Taking a closer look, he discovers that it's a martial arts tournament, and the prize for winning, $5 million. At said tournament, the announcer thanks the audience for their patience. Out of all the participants, only 12 have been chosen to fight in the Tenkaichi Budokai, and one lucky winner will get the chance to challenge the champ himself, Mr. Satan. The crowd cheers their hero's name, as he sits with a cocky grin smoking a cigar, chatting with Majin Buu. "Say, Mr. Buu, I think it's time we go over the plan for today." Cutting him off, Buu asks him if he just wants him to lose to him again after the finals. But that's not it. Mr. Satan has caught on that the fans are getting bored of the same old routine, so he'd like Buu to beat up the last opponent real good, before intentionally losing to him instead. This way, it'll be easy pickings for the champ to retain his throne, who's pretty proud of this plan of his. Back outside, it's time for the first match, as Hidasa and Saitama are called to the stage. And if you remember back to the tournament from the original Buu saga, we recognize Hidasa as the arrogant opponent Trunks faced. His family is seen cheering him from the stands, just as insufferable and diabetic as before. While Hidasa gets an elaborate intro detailing all these facts from the announcer, Saitama merely gets, "And Saitama! Today is his debut!" Who's a little disappointed by this lack of enthusiasm. Looking into the audience, he wasn't expecting this tournament to be so popular. While the money is the only reason he's here, he can't help but wonder if anybody strong will actually be here. Hidasa starts with the trash talk. "Hey Baldy, I'll wipe the floor with you. Envying my body and hair, aren't ya?" But Saitama just tells him that his hairstyle is super lame, and Hidasa doesn't take this scathing insult well, as the match begins. And in a satisfying resolution of douchebag justice, Hidasa is launched instantly from the ring and into the crowd, giving Saitama a predictably easy victory. Hopefully this happening again will give he and his family the humility they need. While gratifying to us, Saitama is pretty disappointed at the realization that this is all this is going to be. And just like this round, he KOs his way through the competition, until eventually making it to the finals against Majin Buu. Saitama has managed to get all the way to this point while throwing only a grand total of 3 punches, and Buu is undefeated in the history of the tournament and fights not against Mr. Satan, giving the crowd a great matchup for the first time in years. Even Buu is hyped up on this one. Saitama tells Buu that he's been watching his fights, and knows he himself is not the only one holding back, telling the Majin to get serious. "Well then, begin the final match!" Whoa, you could retract your head. Both fighters are simultaneously on the offensive and defensive, as their capes flutter in the wind. But while the fight is underway, Mr. Satan is fast asleep as a member of the tournament staff comes rushing in to wake him up. He groggily asks if the match is over, but the employee tells him that it's still in progress, causing the champ to ask if Buu's in a pinch, and may actually lose, as is their plan of course. But on the contrary, the match is absolutely incredible, even shaking the very room they stand in. Getting a look at it. Wow, amazing! Taking a little cover, it appears Mr. Satan didn't research exactly who Buu was about to fight, unaware he's one-shot his way through the tournament up until now. Huh? What's this stuff? Gross. Punching a hole in the Majin, Mr. Satan freaks out as Buu falls to the ground. The announcer alerts the audience to this horrifying turn of events. Realizing he accidentally punched seriously, Saitama believes he killed him. But as we know, this is nothing more than a scratch to Majin Buu, jumping back up and healing in only seconds. You're pretty tough, ain't ya? The pair face off yet again as Buu's anger grows, telling his opponent that hurt a little. Then Mr. Satan yells after his partner in crime, telling him, seemingly telepathically, to just beat this guy. To hell with the arrangement. Remembering back to exactly what this arrangement was, Buu grows an innocent smile before turning back to Saitama, urging him to bring it, as he's not scared of his punches. Obliging, Boo seems to have misunderstood what Satan was trying to tell him, as he just let Saitama knock him out of the ring, leaving everyone with a giant sense of dissatisfaction. But with a job to do, the announcer excitedly declares him the winner, who will go on to face Satan himself, calling this the birth of a new hero. Saitama runs up to Boo, calling him out for throwing the fight on purpose. But giggling, Boo just tells Saitama that he sure is strong and wants to fight again sometime. As simultaneously, Mr. Satan finds himself in yet another sticky situation. The announcer begins to hype up the final match as the crowd murmurs how Mr. Satan is going to crush this guy. But the champ can tell this new guy is at least on the same level as Goku and the others. While he wonders what he should do, the staff member brings up his cape and belt, ushering him onto the stage. While the announcer says everything to Mr. Satan's credit, and the crowd rallies for their hero. On the inside, the champ just thinks how bad he wants to go home. But upon pointing out how much he's sweating, Satan just claims he overdid it while warming up, causing another roar from the audience. Having not caught on, Saitama gets pumped at the thought of fighting the world champion. While most of the crowd cheers for the familiar face, there is a good portion of folks cheering Saitama's name as well, which is a nice change of pace for the newcomer. But continuing to lose his composure, Mr. Satan knows if he's punched even a single time, there's no doubt he'll be a goner. But trying to convince himself otherwise, he gets his first real good look at Saitama, noticing that he's bald and not exactly built like a warrior, telling himself this is all a dream. That's the only thing it could be. With this newfound denial, shouting for everyone to hear, "Wahaha! You did a fine job defeating Mr. Boo, but it's about 100 years too early for you to be taking on the reigning champion, Mr. Satan!" Continuing to showboat for the crowd, Satan tells himself that since this is a dream, he may as well make it worthwhile before the match officially begins. Telling the challenger to come at him. He can't even finish this taunt before Saitama is right in his face, merely flicking him backwards. And in about a literal second, Satan is down, stunning the crowd. The 10 count begins, finally snapping him back to reality. This isn't a dream after all, and he's going to die for sure. But there's no way he's going to allow himself to go down from a simple flick to the forehead. Struggling, the announcer gets all the way to 6 before Satan's back on his feet. The crowd cheers for him once more, as Saitama looks on fiercely. Trying to actually do something, Satan rushes him, punching him square in the face. Naturally, this is like a fly trying to headbutt an elephant. Finding himself down again, the crowd again acts as his encouragement, as he tries desperately to catch his breath. But no matter what he does, we all know is futile. As we all kind of feel sorry for the world champ, who tries to chalk up his third knockdown to the arena floor being too slippery. "Old man, come at me with your best move."
What? Very well then. I was saving this for last, but okay. The move I've honed since the day I first started contending for the title. Dynamite kick!
Landing his signature move, Saitama falls. Confused as he rightfully should be, Satan looks on in utter shock. "Man, I felt that one. I give up." The announcer bellows out Saitama's forfeiture, declaring Mr. Satan once again the reigning champ. Possibly thinking he's dreaming again, he tries to get words out as his challenger rises from the ground. "Huh, I guess your fighting spirit pushed me back, old-timer. Don't ever lose, champ."
Right, of course. I am the champion after all. Hey, pay me a visit later. I'll give you the prize money.
What? You sure about that? As the cheering eventually fades away, Saitama soon makes his way back home, explaining again to Genos what happened, holding the prize money, who vigorously takes notes of his master's exploits, specifically how he respected the champion. Offering to treat his roommate to some dinner, he pulls out the money, getting his first look at it. But neither he or Genos even recognize these kinds of bills, causing Genos to ask what country it even came from. Realizing the unfortunate truth, they won't be able to spend this money anywhere near here. Several days later, Mr. Satan can be seen taking a run around a town, as random folks cheer him on, telling him how inspirational his last fight was. Feeling good about himself and how occasional training isn't so bad, but looking down, he done stepped on some Duke. As his admirers continue to cheer, he simply tries to hide this fallacy by striking a pose. As overhead, a spaceship looms over the planet.